All right, and welcome to the intro episode of Health Wealth Self Pod, or I think I'm gonna call it episode 0. So basically, this is just gonna be a short, quick episode, just kind of introing, talking about what this is gonna be, what this is, who am I, what am I doing, that sort of thing. So just to start it off, what is this gonna be? So vlogger YouTube that I watch, YouTuber, he said something that struck me in something that I watched a while ago. That says, if you think you have a story to tell and you're not telling it, then you're doing the world a disservice. So that hit me, and it hit me in a way that it was like not only the fact that oh, I think I have this crazy, awesome story to tell, but more the fact that's like, am I really analyzing? Am I really, you know, living in the moment of each thing that I'm doing? So, for those of you who don't know who I am or what I do, so I'm a software engineer by trade. I do a couple other things. I also do this mentoring service on the side, kind of like a big brother kind of thing, as well as some real estate stuff and whatever. But ideally or realistically, the thing is that I can be location independent for all my work. So I use that to my advantage, and I go and I travel and I try to live in cool places. So right now I'm in sunny, sunny California in San Diego, but I'm not going to be here very long. Soon I go down to South America, and the way that I like to travel, uh, I do think there's value in being a tourist and going down, seeing the touristy things, the touristy places, and whatever. But um, how I really like to travel is I like to spend a while there. Like I think it's good to go check out the major history, do the touristy things, but I think to really get to know a place, it's so much more beneficial to be there longer, create some relationships with people, get some friends, meet cool people and that are in these amazing cities around the world that I really don't know anything about right now. So I obviously can't do that with every trip that I take, but I try to do that, at least a couple times a year, is spend 2 to 3 months in some city that interests me and to really get down to, what makes that city tick and kind of go from there. So I got some of that coming up, and it kind of just struck me when I started, making these travel plans and doing that could be, a cool story to tell. Is that I don't even know what these cities are going to bring. I have no idea. But what I want this to be is just when I go to these cities, kind of break it down, talk about them, the cool people I meet there, or interview and talk to, and just shoot the shit. Um, and even places that I go, like people that inspire me, in some ways, in some different ways, sit down and talk to them, and maybe it can inspire some other people that can listen to this, or maybe just my journey itself that I'm going to be heading on, maybe that can even inspire some people that, that maybe they want to become location independent, or a city that I talked about they want to go check out and they want to go explore, and maybe they meet some friends there and, create some amazing relationships, or, you know, changes their life in some way. I don't know. I know that's optimistic, but I think it's a good time to start getting this out there. And I think this will allow me at the same time to be more present in what I'm doing. If I'm breaking down and I'm kind of like each time I'm doing it, talking to cool people and getting inspired and yeah. And what also comes with this is, I'm doing this. I'm going to be doing this all myself. I'm going to also be supplementing the podcast, which I want to come out every Monday. I can't say for sure that, because travel gets in the way sometimes and whatever, but I'd like to be 7 o'clock Eastern time Monday morning, you know, to come out. That way, if people are listening to this, and the people that do end up listening can usually have it for some type of morning commute or something for that day. I can't always guarantee, but I'm definitely going to try. So how I'm going to start is I'm going to make a commitment of do this for a year and see what that year brings. So 52 weeks, 52 episodes, and see what happens. And I'm super, super goddamn excited about it. It really gets me juiced up to kind of explore different facets, because for me, my daily work is I'm a software engineer. So, and though you can expose some creativity with designing software, not to the extent that you can really, it's stuff like this. If I supplement it with a vlog, just to kind of give you a more day to day in different cities, and what different cities are like, what they look like, what the people act like, what's the culture like, what's the nightlife like, having that creativity and learning different skills like Adobe Audition, Adobe Premiere, Photoshop, Lightroom, those kind of things. That's not what I get to do on a day-to-day basis. What I do on a day-to-day basis, though it does have some creative aspects, is usually always some type of right answer. There's a solution that performs better. There's a solution that is better. So yeah, this is going to be a nice creative outlook for me. I think being creative is something that not very few, because there's a lot of people that get to be creative, but not enough. I think everyone should flex some creativity at some time, because it's humbling. It's very humbling. It's very nerve-wracking to kind of put your heart into something and let it just be critiqued, that you think it's good. Like, I think it's good. I think it's good quality content, but people listen to it and people hate it, and they think it sucks, and they think it's boring, or whatever it is. So even if that's the case, and that happens with this, whatever. I'm going to do it for 52 weeks, see what happens, and just go from there. And if I'm still loving it, and I'm still enjoying it, I want to keep rocking it and keep doing it. So I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited. So the first trip, I actually leave the 27th of April. So this will come out the Monday before I leave. I go down to Buenos Aires with one of my best friends, Jason Lavely. He's actually going to be on episode 1, which I think I'm going to release the same time as this. So this isn't just like a teaser. It's kind of like you can just jump into what a normal episode would be like. I'll obviously iterate on it and become more fine-tuned. But this has been months and months of work getting to this point, and getting to the point where now I feel that I'm ready to launch. I'm ready to blast off with it. So we leave for Buenos Aires on the 27th of April. We're in Buenos Aires just for a week, which is unfortunate because I wish I could be there longer. But then we go to Sao Paulo, which I have been to Sao Paulo before. I have some friends in Sao Paulo, which I'm going to try to interview, that are just awesome dudes. I love them to death. So that's going to be really exciting. And I'm there for 3 weeks. Then I'm in Rio for 2 weeks. Then one of my buddies getting married. Then I'm going back to Sao Paulo. So it's gonna be quite the South American adventure. So it should be pretty cool. My Jay, he's only gonna be there the first 2 weeks, the first week of Buenos Aires and the first week of Sao Paulo. So we'll break that down. We'll break it down from his perspective, who hasn't been there before. I love Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo is an incredible city. I think one of my favorites that I've ever been to, and I've only really spent a week there, so I'm excited to spend a bunch more time with some cool people there. So that's very exciting. So that's what the first couple episodes are gonna look like, and then we're gonna rock it from there. I got a bunch of travel coming up this summer. Gonna be traveling to London. My sister lives in London. I'm gonna be living in New York for a while. Get the breakdown of New York in comparisons to other, and I just know so many inspiring people in New York that I think it's almost a shame not to have them on and talk about their journeys. I really do. I think they have so much to teach even me to this day, and that's what this is about, really. It's gonna be a bunch of work, but it's also gonna be, I think, awesome, and it's gonna be something that I think I can even look back on and re-listen to instill some more mindsets. So that's what I'm most excited about, and I'm most excited, to just keep traveling and keep doing what I'm doing. Um, I'm just very, very lucky that, I worked hard enough. I've been a professional software engineer for about 10 years now. So it took it took about 8 or so before I felt like my skills were polished enough where I felt it okay to get to the point where I think I could be paid to do something remote. And it's not taking any shortcuts. It's definitely not. Being remote is not being a shortcut. I am still very much so. It's a startup, but I'm still very much so working my ass off at that company, and I will continually be working my ass off at that company to try to rise up as high and be in a leadership position there. Which I'm, well on. If I keep going the way I'm going, I think I'm well on that way. So that's also part of the mix. As part of the mix is, can you do all these things and live in these places and still be a very productive, and still move up the ladder, still be a very productive person of society? I think yes. I think you definitely can. I don't think a job should determine your location, and that's kind of one of the things that you know inspired me to do this, inspired me to want to be location independent. I was living in Boston for far too long, and though I love all my friends in Boston, I don't really enjoy Boston too much as a city. It's just, it's my home city. So I just got sick of it. It's a great city, and if you haven't been, you definitely should go check it out. But for living there, it's just too small. It's not even a million residents. So it's just too small for me. And you just did the same things all the time. It was difficult to mix things up once you were there for a long period. So it's great to see my family when I go back there. And now usually when I do go back there, that's usually what I do is I go, it's mostly just family and close friends. So yeah, so that's what this is going to be. So this was just a quick little intro explaining what Health Wealth Self Pod is going to be. It's going to be how do you juggle all of it? How do you are able to have this great personal journey while still, managing the hustle and, do the things that you need to do to move up the ladder with the company that you're working for, and how you make a living while you're location independent, and how at the same time you can keep a healthy lifestyle. You can work out, you can eat right, and, try to keep balance as you're doing it. Because a lot of people, I think, get stuck. You get stuck and you feel like with your job you have to live in this certain part of the world that maybe you don't like. And really, that's completely not the case. I know it's not the case. I know it might be the case for a lot of professions, but it's not the case for all of them. And you don't, that is a choice that you can make. And I think, I made the choice that that's what I wanted to do. And now, how do you do it? So yeah, that's what this is going to be. If you're interested, please, tune in. This is going to be available on every major podcast app, and I'm also going to do a video on YouTube. So it should be pretty easy to be able to find it. So yeah, I'm going to put it on every podcast platform and YouTube itself. So I'm going to wrap that up here. If you're interested, tune in. Episode 1 should be coming out the same time as this with my buddy Jason Lavely. He is, he's an incredible person. He's one of my best friends, and I'm lucky to call him one of my best friends. I've known him since college, and man, he used to be one way, and I used to love the way that he was, but now he's completely 180'd, and he's so hardworking, so disciplined, and inspiring, and he inspires and pushes me every day. There's no one that I'm, friends with in my life right now that push and drive me as much as Jason Lavely does, and can't say enough about his friendship. And he has such an interesting story from how he went from this kid in college who, drank probably too much alcohol, and wasn't really happy with himself, to now is one of the most disciplined, happy, and motivated people that I know in this world. So that should be a good episode. So if you're interested in that, tune in. That's going to be releasing the same time. So that's the case. I'll catch you guys next time. Stay happy, stay healthy, and keep grinding. Peace out.